Thursday morning means Walker County Extension System Office, Jasper, Alabama. That'd be Mr. Danny Cain. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. It is great to be here this morning.
You got that summertime afternoon thunderstorm.
Brought you some warm weather in. That's for sure.
You brought some good weather in here.
I knew you were complaining a little bit about how cold it was here a while back, so I thought I'd bring you some warm weather.
I'm not going to complain anymore now.
Yeah,
it changes every day.
And it went to hot in a hurry. You know.
All right, you got a lot of stuff going on at the Extension Office.
We do. We've probably had one of the busiest. Late spring, early summer. We can't even call it early summer anymore. We're into summer now, but staying busy, a lot of stuff going on. So, wanted to make folks aware just a couple of upcoming meetings that you might be interested in. The first one is actually it's a partnership type program with Miss Ginger Eatman, who is our SNAP-Ed regional agent, and Ginger's been down here to the show several times and does a great job with that, and just is active in everything. So she's our staff person, kind of heading up from our end. But they're doing a grant workshop. Potential sources for grants for many of us who do programs. Looking for sources of funding. And a lot of times we do turn to grant programs, and so they're going to be talking about sources of grants and how to best write up your grant proposal to get funded, and many other aspects associated with grant funding. Our friends at RC&D, Coaco, specifically as Resource Conservation Development. Councils are going to help out with that. And of course, RC&D is a major provider of grants here locally. I know our office has been funded a couple times with Coaco grants. The Walker Area Foundation, Paul Kennedy, and everybody around knows Paul, and so he does tremendous work there with the Walker Area Community Foundation, and so they're sponsors as well. Blue Cross Blue Shield, who has a grant program that helps local communities, and many others as well. So it should be a good program. That's going to be on June the 17th. That's
coming up.
Upcoming here real close.
Yeah.
And it's going to be from 9 until 11 in the morning on the 17th. And we're going to hold that over at the lower level, the basement of the Pinnacle Bank building. And,
okay.
And that'll be right here downtown in Jasper.
Right.
So they've got a great facility there, great meeting room, plenty of parking, and so we're going to house that meeting there, and we appreciate them for hosting us out there at Pinnacle. So this is the same place we did a similar meeting last year. Had a really good attendance, really good program, and
9 to 11.
9 to 11. Now there's no cost to attend, but you do need to pre-register, and you can do that either online through our website, or if you want to, you can give us a call at the Extension office, and we will send you the link to where you can.
Does this imply all grants, like a 501c3 grants, or church grants, or just business grants?
Sure. They're going to talk any community organization that has a grant project or is thinking about a grant project to help their whatever their cause or whatever their mission is. Then this meeting will help you out with those. Put you into contact with a lot of people who control the grants and who are in charge of the grants, and so they always are very good to share. These are the things that we look for in a grant proposal and how you write those up, and so it should be very good information, and so we're looking forward to that. Looking for some really good turnout for that, because we all need that. We all need our projects funded, so that should be a really good program. But again, you can register online through our website. You can give us a call. We'll be glad to send you a direct link to register for it, whichever you choose. Another upcoming workshop that we have that we've done this one actually. It's an annual type workshop. We've done it for many years now, but it's always we usually always have close to 100 that comes out for this thing. is our land management conference. We call it our PLM workshop, Professional Logger Management. Okay, and this is sponsored by many people. With the Extension and the Forestry Commission and the Soil and Water Conservation District, Treasure Forest Association. Farmers Federation. Many people, go in to sponsor this, but this meeting we have it set up. Our loggers. If you're a logger, you know what I'm talking about. Have to have professional logger management or PLM hours. That's kind of their continuing education.
That's an every year thing, isn't
it? Yes, it's an annual process that they go through. So this meeting is set up. They will receive PLM hours for that, and I believe the magic number is 6 hours that they will receive. The meeting is also set up for our professional foresters or registered foresters also have to have what they call CFEs or continuing forestry education hours. And so this meeting also qualifies for that. So it's kind of a dual purpose meeting for professional loggers, for registered foresters, but also for landowners as well. If you're just interested in learning more, there's a lot of great topics. They're going to be doing some presentations on basically kind of first aid, safety in the woods. We all use some of that there. RPS is good to do that. They're doing a program called Stop the Bleed. It's basic first aid for
now
things
the logging trucks included in this, or they got another program?
No, well they have a whole other set of things as well. This is for the actual logger who goes to the woods.
Okay.
And, they have to be certified and registered. Or what happens is if you're not PLM certified, then really the mills where you take the lumber to, the trees to, won't take those trees from a non-P. So it's very important.
Yes, it is.
And so we provide that. The hours that they would need, to maintain their certification. But we're going to talk about BMPs or best management practices. Yours truly is going to be doing a little presentation on fire ants and fire ant control.
That's a good class.
And we're also going to be talking about that ever popular subject this year, the brown spot needle blight. That's everybody's noticed the browning off of the leaves in the pines back earlier on, particularly early in the spring. And so I got there is no telling how many questions this year I got on brown spot needle blight. So we got Drew Metzler from the Alabama Forestry Commission is going to come and talk a little bit about forest health and include in brown spot needle blight and other type things. So all that to say, it's going to be a really good workshop. Whether you need hours for PLM for your logging operation or registered forestry, or if you're just a landowner who wants to learn more about managing your tree stands and timber stands. And that's going to be on August the 13th. And we're going to do that meeting over at Bevel State Community College here in Jasper, the Jasper campus, in the Harold Wade Math and Science building. They have the classroom auditorium there, and like I said, we generally have about 100 people that come to this for the hours and to learn a little bit more about managing their forests as well. There's no charge to attend, but we do need you to call in and register, and you would call you register for this. Call Stacy at the Walker County Soil and Water Conservation District. And Stacy's number is 205-387-1879, 387-1879. And you can register for that. Like I said, it's free of charge. You get the hours, you get the a good program, and also the best part of it all, you get free lunch.
I hear you.
You can't beat a free lunch and take, because a lot of people have to pay to go
that's right.
to a workshop to get these hours and stuff. Right. So another good program up and coming. And if you have any questions about that, you can give us a call, and we'll be glad to answer your questions and help you get registered if that's what you need. So now one of the things I tell you. This spring, I have gotten so many calls this year, and I think it's You know, I think a lot of it is the amount of rainfall that we've had up until this point anyway this year has got a lot of stuff up and growing and stuff. So a lot of people notice those white flowering plants as we're going down the road. And so I always get the question, you know, what is that plant? And so we wanted to, because it's not all just the same plant. It's not all one plant, okay?
May look like it, but
which
it's
makes
not.
it very hard for us to identify sometimes over the phone. But here's one probably of the most common ones, and it's in bloom right. In fact, it's in bloom everywhere right now, and I see this all over the place. This is actually, this is an old kind of a historic type plant with a lot of history here in the Deep South associated with this is elderberry.
Elderberry.
Elderberry, and this one is recognized. You see the white blooms that make kind of those flat top blooms up on top. The leaves on this particular one, it's a compound leaf that are opposite on the stem, which means the leaflets are right across from each other. But the telltale thing that will help you to distinguish this from another plant that looks very, very similar is if you look really closely at the leaf, the elderberry has a serrated leaf edge, which means it's jagged edged, like your steak knife or something like that. Okay. So the next picture is also this is a kind of a close up of what the elderberry blooms look like. Now this is what we're seeing right now. They're in bloom, like I said, everywhere right now. And the next picture is this is where it gets its name. This is the fruit that will set and ripen up later on in the late summer into fall. And it's usually a purple color, sometimes even almost a blackish type color. But you know, and these elderberry is actually considered to be edible. However, you have to be really careful. You can't eat it straight off the vine because it does have some toxic properties, very similar to what poke salad or something. You know, so it is edible, but but you have to take caution. Don't eat it straight off. It has to be cooked or processed, or there's those type things. We've actually done some programs on what to do with elderberry, just because it's so, and you can actually buy this plant in nurseries now of all things as kind of a landscape type plant. It's really kind of a pretty plant. The next one looks very, very similar, so you have to be a little bit careful. Okay, and you see again, this has got that compound leaf, on it. They're opposite right along that stem, which means the leaflets are right across from one another. The main difference here on this one has kind of a reddish type stem. If you look really closely at the stem, and if you look real closely at that leaf margin, that is a smooth leaf margin, okay, which means it's not jagged edged. Okay, and this one actually is a toxic plant. This is poison sumac. And next picture, if you kind of look at, again, you can see it also has kind of a white bloom on it. And I believe we got one more picture. Yes, this is what the poison sumac bloom looks like. Again, another white blooming plant.
Right. Okay.
The blooms on this one, instead of those flat bloom clusters that we saw in elderberry, is more of a spike shape to it. Okay, and you can see that. But it also it blooms white, and this will make a berry on it that's kind of greenish to green to white. Kind of depends on some other conditions, but greenish white berries.
Does any of our animals, birds, they eat on this plant?
Birds can tolerate those. For us, and it's called poison sumac, but basically with us, you would think about it as like a poison ivy.
Yeah, okay.
It causes a lot of people have dermatitis problems with it, those kind of things. Now this one, there are a lot of other sumacs out there. Okay, there's several species of sumac, not all of which causes those those type problems. This one you'll almost always find growing in kind of wetter type areas, swampy areas, places that don't drain real well. Very rarely you'll ever see that grow in uplands in a drier type site where you see some of the other sumacs. So sumac is other than this one, is probably is actually a really good kind of a native plant, and it's wonderful fall color, turns a brilliant scarlet red color. And but the animals, animals really love the sumacs and stuff. So just be careful of this one. Remember, it's smooth edge on the leaves, a white spire-shaped bloom as opposed to that flat bloom cluster, and you can usually tell it apart. The next plant we have is another one, and again you see that kind of white looking. This is why we have so much confusion with these plants. Now this one, and I wanted people to really take notice of this. This is a much taller growing plant. This one can get anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall. But this one I would pay special attention to because this one is extremely toxic to the point of being very dangerous. Okay, and I've actually seen a lot more of this one this year than I have in years past because I think of all the rainfall. If we could go on to the next picture, this is what you look for. If you look on that stem, you're going to see a smooth, hairless stem on this plant that's covered with these purplish splotches. Okay, that's what you really look for. And this one is called poison hemlock. Okay, and again, this is probably one of the more toxic of the plants that grow, or among the more toxic plants that grow around here. But if you do see that smooth stem with those purple splotches on there, you need to eradicate that plant. It's because it's very, very toxic. Okay, next plant we have. Is we're going to go to something a little less toxic. You know, this one is called wild carrot.
Wild carrot.
Yeah, wild carrot. Some people call it Queen Anne's lace.
Okay.
And this is commonly used in floral arrangements and many other things. You see this one growing wild too. This is more of an upright type growing plant. And if you look at the next picture, you'll see the leaves on the plant is kind of a fern-like leaf. So you look at it and say, hey man, that kind of looks like a fern. But they're usually single stem upright growing. Sometimes they'll grow in clusters, but very upright growing plant. This one is actually considered to be edible. We talked about one that was toxic, one that was very, very toxic. This one is actually considered to be one of our edible plants, but most people use it for floral decorations and things. Yeah. And it's another one of our plants that our native plants, the pollinators love it. This is kind of what I call one of the mini meadow plants that we have. It grows in those type situations. The stem on wild carrot is, and this is a distinction over the last plant that we're going to look at. The stem is hairy, which means it's got these kind of hair-like projections that come out from the stem. Now let's look at the last one that kind of confuses us a lot of times. And this is a side by side. That's the bloom. That's that fern-like kind of leaf on it. Let's go into the next picture. This is another one that gets very confused with wild carrot. This is another one of our native plants called yarrow. Yarrow, and it blooms. A lot of them are white, but it blooms in yellows and some other colors as well. Now, if you look at the foliage on the yarrow compared to wild carrot or Queen Anne's lace, it's almost a feathery type, like a bird's feather type. Very, very finely serrated, feathery type foliage. And the stem on this, if we could go to the next picture, the stem on this particular plant, these yarrows, are ridged. You see that ridging there, so it's kind of rough to the appearance, and also is covered with it's almost what we call woolly. It's just covered with just fine little hair, not long hair projections, but just fine, almost like a wool. But that's how you tell those apart. And the last picture I think that are brought for us to look at is just kind of a side by side, so that because all of these pictures, all these plants are kind of in the same related plant family. So you have the one on the left, which is your wild carrot or Queen Anne's lace. You see that kind of greenish stem there that'll have slightly just some hair-like projections. The one in the middle is poison hemlock, and again you see that purple splotches there on the stem. That's the one that we want to avoid. The one on the right is called wild parsnip, which is another one. We don't see that one quite as much here, but it is around. And this is another one of those plants where the roots are edible, the rest of the plant is not. But it often gets confused, like I said, because they're all kind of in the same plant family. But that's a quick run through over about 6 or 7 of the most common of those white blooming plants that we see as we're driving down the roadside. I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to take a look at them because we do get a lot of questions on that.
All right, tell us how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, any question about anything that we've talked about today, any of the meetings or any of the plants that we've talked about, you can call us at the Walker County Extension Office at 205-221-3392. Or you can reach us on that big old World Wide Web at www.aces, that's ACES.edu, or you can reach us on Facebook.
Danny, thanks a lot. Good program.
Appreciate you having us. Thank you.
We're going to take a break. We'll come right back with more Coffee Time.